Alright, football fans, with the NFL draft over a month away and March Madness in full swing, I got to thinking, what would the NFL look like if it were structured like the NCAA tournament? But wait, how are you going to split the teams up? There's only two conferences. I'm glad you asked. I'm going to split them up based on geographical location of division. So AFC East teams and NFC teams are going to make up the East, and so on and so forth throughout the rest. So we are going to have an East, a West, a South, and since there's no Midwest, we are going to do the North. I've decided to seed these teams based on how they're currently ranked in the NFL draft. The best East team gets the number 1 seed, while the worst East team gets the number 8 seed, and so on and so forth. Since this is an entirely made-up game, I am going to say we are going to grade these teams based on their free agency periods and how they would look if they were to play right now. I know there's plenty of cases where teams win free agency and bottom out in the regular season, like my Jets and Redskins and a bunch of other teams like that, but this is my game, so these are my rules, so get over it. All right, Jet fans, as much as I want to be biased, Tom Brady's still in the division, and we have a lot to prove, so until we actually beat them and knock them off, we're going to see the Patriots moving on to the next round. Dolphins, I'm sorry, Fitzmagic does not have the magic to get you past this round. Case Keenum will lead the Redskins into the Sweet 16. Philadelphia Eagles, I trust Carson Wentz more than I trust Josh Allen. Eagles move on to the next round. Giants versus Cowboys. Sorry, Giant fans, your team is blown up. You guys are going to stink next year. Cowboys move on to the next round. Rams versus Cardinals. Cardinals have the first pick for a reason. Rams move on. Raiders versus Chargers. I really wanted to take the Raiders here because I think they added a lot of firepower, and I think they're going to make that division, way more up for grabs than it was prior to this. But I trust Phillip Rivers more than I trust Derek Carr, and I think the Chargers are the more complete overall team at this point, so Chargers move on. Seahawks-Broncos. I don't particularly like Joe Flacco. I like Russell Wilson more. It's more of a coin flip for me, so I flipped a coin, and I did wind up on Seahawks, so I'm sorry, Bronco fans, but you lose this round. 49ers versus the Chiefs. If this were the beginning of the NFL season, I might have picked the 49ers because of Jimmy Garoppolo coming back. But since he is still recovering from his knee injury, easy win for the Chiefs. Let's take it to the South. We're looking at the Saints and the Bucks. Sorry, Bucks, you guys are terrible. You have Todd Bowles. Saints move on. Panthers and Titans. I really like what the Titans did in free agency. I like them adding Adam Humphries. I like them getting Cameron Wake. I think that team is going to be better than people give them credit for. Titans move on. Houston versus Atlanta. This one could totally go either way, but regardless of who makes it past this round, I don't have them beating the Colts in the next round. Like I said, Jacksonville versus Indianapolis. I have the Colts winning this one. I think that team's going to be real good. I think adding Justin Houston is a huge move for that team, and I think you saw Mac start to gain some steam towards the end of the season, and Andrew Luck started clicking on all cylinders. I think they are back. I think the Colts are going to be a very dangerous team this year. That brings us to the North. Bears versus Lions. Sorry, Lions, I don't trust you guys yet. Bears move on from that round. Packers versus Steelers. After a disappointing season, I think the Packers are going to be all fired up. They're going to come out guns blazing. The Steelers are going to lose that little bit of that juju that they had, even though they still have juju. They lost Antonio Brown and, not that they had Bell last year, but I think they're going to lose a little bit of that moxie. Packers move on. Vikings versus the Browns. Vikings, I don't like you guys. Kirk Cousins screwed the Jets. Anthony Barr screwed the Jets. I'm taking the Browns. I like Odell. I like Landry. I love me some Baker Mayfield. Browns move on. Bengals versus Ravens. Division matchup. Sorry, Bengals. I don't trust Andy Dalton. Ravens are moving on. Redskins, you had a great run, but unfortunately Tom Brady and Gronkowski are still in New England, and they are going to beat you. Eagles versus Cowboys. A division matchup. I like these. I'm taking Carson Wentz. I don't trust Dak Prescott, even though I think the Cowboys are the better overall team right now. Unless Dak can show me a little bit more, I'm going to take the Eagles. The battle of the two LA teams, I'm taking the Chargers over the Rams. I think the Rams lost far too many pieces this past year. I don't know if they're going to be the same team that we saw last year, especially with Gurley's knee injury. Is that going to hamper him moving forward? I don't know if they're going to be the same team. Chiefs versus Seahawks. I believe the Chiefs, even though they lost a ton of talent on that defense and Tyreek Hill's future is totally up in the air, I think they still have enough firepower. I trust Patrick Mahomes. I think the guy's a stud. Chiefs over the Seahawks. So I gave away my pick of the South before I got to this round. I think the Colts are going to beat the Texans or the Falcons, whoever winds up moving on there. I have them beating the Texans. Saints versus Titans. I like what the Titans did this offseason, but the Saints still have Drew Brees. They still have Alvin Kamara. They still have Michael Thomas. That team's loaded. They move on to the next round. And for the North, we have the Bears versus the Packers. The Bears had an outstanding season this past year, but they versed the easiest strength of schedule. I think they come back down to earth after versing a first-place division schedule. Green Bay moves on. With another division matchup, we have the Browns and the Ravens. I believe the Browns have the firepower. I don't trust Lamar Jackson to be able to accurately get the ball down the field. I think his legs will eventually fail him. He will have to use his arm. Browns move on. Up to the East, we have the Patriots and the Eagles. I hate the Patriots. The only hope I have is that the Eagles can beat them, so I am taking the Eagles. I hope Carson Wentz can duplicate what Nick Foles did and have some of that magic. Brady's getting older. Gronkowski's getting older. The young gun comes in and beats the Patriots. Chargers versus Chiefs. This is where I think the Chiefs end. I think the Chargers have too much power on that defense. I think that the Chiefs lost too many players across the board. I'd pick the Chargers to move on out of the West. Saints versus the Colts. No matter who the home team is here, it's going to be in a dome. The Saints are awesome in the dome. I think they move on. They beat the Colts. Green Bay versus the Browns. This is going to be the ultimate test of extremely high-paid quarterback versus quarterback on rookie pay scale. The Browns are totally loaded offensively. I think they're going to have the firepower to compete with Aaron Rodgers. I think Baker can go toe-to-toe with them. Browns are going to beat the Packers. All right, we get to our final four. We have the Eagles, the Chargers, the Browns, and the Saints. Who is going to make it to our final two? Eagles versus the Chargers. I think the Chargers still have a ton of talent. I like Phillip Rivers more than I like Carson Wentz right now. I think the Chargers team overall is an overall better team than the Eagles currently as it's assembled. So Chargers, you guys make it into the final two. Saints versus the Browns. I love me some Drew Brees. I love the Saints, but unfortunately something always goes terribly wrong in the playoffs, and I cannot picture anything else going right for them. The Browns are going to find a way to use all that firepower they loaded up on this season to compete with Drew Brees, and they're making it to the championship. So we get the Chargers and the Browns, two teams I really like. I want to see Phillip Rivers get a ring. I think this is his last shot at doing it. That team is loaded. I think Bosa and Ingram will be able to put enough pressure on Baker Mayfield after the Browns have traded away their starting guard. I think they're a little more susceptible to that pressure. Chargers, you guys are going to get the Super Bowl victory of the NFL March Madness in my totally ridiculous game. Let me know what you guys think down below. Who are your final four? Who is your champion? Did this even make sense? Did I waste my time making this? As always, guys, go Jets.